Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. We are talking about data gateways, why gateways are important, and how to install the gateways we had seen in the first day. And we also spoken about why data gateways and where to install gateways and configure gateways, where normally we install the gateways, wherever the data is available. So I have installed in my laptop. So the laptop where I have the data, right? So wherever you have data in that machine only, you should be able to install the data gateways, not in the Power BI service. So you should know why data gateways are important to refresh the data or to get the latest data. We normally use data gateways. If you have the data in the cloud, to cloud, we never use data gateways. But if you have on-premise servers, from there we are going to be bringing the data to where? To the cloud. Cloud means PBA service. So that is what we discussed. And the types of gateways we spoken about to personal gateways and enterprise or standard gateways. Personal gateways where we should be able to use it for only one user and maximum 8 times per day we can refresh the data. So something like this, there are some limitation that is also we spoken about. Connectivity modes in Power BI, we had seen import and direct query or live query. The third one is live connection or connect live. Today we're going to be working on demos on gateways, different scenarios we're going to be testing. So now what is that you have to know if you're having, if you're getting the data from the SQL Server database to the cloud, okay, you have to have one data gateway for this. And if you're having one more report using this, so you need to have one more gateway for this. Clear? For example, for example, you may extract the data from here using these two sources. Using these two sources, you're going to be getting the data and created a report, and you have also done a lot of transformation. Then you have also created a report and you put the .pba file here. So tomorrow, guys, can you hear me? So many people are saying, guys, okay. So now no issues, right? Many people are talking about, okay, fine. So now, if I create a report using multiple sources, so how many gateways we need to have it? So for each connection, you need to have a different gateways. Clear? So this is gateway number one. This is gateway number two. So you need to get two gateways to be configured to get the data into this. Okay. So two connections we need to have it on the gateway. We need to have two connections in the data gateway so that you can get the data from this connection. You have to get the data from this connection. So gateway will have many connections, right? So that's what is very, very important, guys. If you have created the data only from one source, that means only one, connection has to be established. So that is what is important today. Now, we have spoken about data refresh purpose. Normally, we have to use the data gateways. So it is going to be loading the data, or it is a bridging software between on-premise. This is very, very important. This word you have to use in your interview, on-premise to where? Power BI service. Okay. If you wanted to refresh the data, okay, if you wanted to refresh the data from on-premise to, from where? On-premise to PBA service. If you wanted to load the data, if you wanted to refresh the data, then we have to use data gateway software. Okay, so where you have to install, you have to install the data gateway software at the source machine, not in the PBA service. So where is the source? My laptop is a source. Now I'm having Excel sheets, I'm having SQL Server installed. So Excel sheets, and SQL Server, everything is available here. So I have to install the gateway software in my machine. If Excel is here and the SQL Server is in one more machine, so you have to go to that machine and install data gateway software in that machine. So where do we need to install the data gateway software means you have to you should install at the data source level. Remember that point. Clear? It is also one more interesting and important point. So it moves the data from data sources to data sets in Power BI service. To get the data to Power BI service, we have normally import and direct query. So that is what we can have it. And one more thing we can have. So one more thing we can have live, but live does not need uh, so live is also there, but live does not need any kind of a data set to be, data gateways to be used there. Okay, for import and direct query, we must use the data gateway. So import and direct query. What is import? Importing means getting the copy of the data and loading the data into the RAM. So import can be used when we have below 10 GB of data in the source level. So direct query, where can we use this? Direct query can be used only in the querying sources. So where normally you query in the databases. So direct query option is available only in the databases, but not in files. If the files are having 200 GB, 500 GB of data, normally that much of a files data will not be there. If you have that much of a data, then you need to split the data into 10 GB, 10 GB, 10 GB, 10 GB and use one file and load the data, because files by default have only one connectivity mode, that is import. Clear? So import can maximum take 10 GB of data if you have more than that. So files are going to be having only import. So only the RDBMS will have import and direct query. Live will be given to the cubes. Live will be given to the cubes. So that is also we discussed yesterday, right? So where to install the data gateway app, install an OLTP on data sources. Wherever you have SQL Server, Oracle, or wherever there is a shared folder where the files are available. So no gateway is required for Azure data sources. Gateway is required only for on-prem to cloud. Clear? So this is also we discussed. Now, there are two types of gateways, personal gateway, local. One user can use it, supports only for import and schedule refresh. Import means schedule refresh only. What is the meaning of import? Import means get the all the data from the source and take the copy and dump the data into the RAM. Okay, it's going to be creating a copy of the data from where to where, from the source to Power BI, RAM. So import means it is called as a schedule refresh only. Import means what? It is schedule refresh only. Clear? The next one is enterprise gateway, which is a global, which is recommended. Why? Because we can share with others. We can share with others. Reusability with many users. Supports import and supports direct query. Direct query is also called as a live query. Okay, live query is different, live is different. Live query means it is direct query when you have more than 10 GB of data in the RDBMSs. So we cannot use import, because import is going to be taking all the 10 GB of data and keeping it there. When we have terabytes of data, then we must use direct query. So where it is not going to store any data in your RAM Power BI. So it is going to be going back and writing a query and pushing the data. Clear? So that is what you must understand clearly. So when we have a import is going to be taking all the data and making a copy. Okay, all the data. If you have 10 rows, all 10 rows are going to go here. It is going to be making a copy. That is what is called import. Okay, but when we have more data here, for example, is a database is having 1 TB of data. So when you have 1 TB of data, this is Power BI service. What is this? It is a Power BI service, PBI service. So PBA service. Now, can I take 1 TB of data? Can I store it here? No, we cannot store it there. So then how to get the data? We can use a direct query. It is also called as a live query. In this, what it is going to be using, only the table schemas. The table schemas are going to be used. So you can use the data modeling, but actual data directly queried. Okay, whenever, so on top of this, you create a report. So this report is getting the data. So end user is wanted to see this report. Whenever he clicks on the report, it is going to write the query and go back and get the data. It is not going to be copying any data in the Power BI, because Power BI can store only 10 GB of data, but I'm talking about 1 TB of data. 1 TB means it is talking about 1024. When you compress, it will become 100 GB of data. 10 times, right? One tenth of the source data. 1 TB of data, when you compress, it will become 10 GB of data that you can, 100 GB of data that you cannot accommodate. When you cannot accommodate, that is where we are going to be using direct query, or which is called as a live query, where you are going to be getting the only the table names and column names. You can do the data modeling. So that is the second one. Third one I'm talking about, you have the data in the cube. Okay, when you have the data in the cube, we are going to be loading the data into the where Power BI service. This is Power BI service. So here it is a live means, so nothing you will get, not even the schema table names, nothing are shown here. The cube could be Turner model cube, or you may have the data of multi-dimensional cube. If you wanted to get the live data, okay, live query is different. Query means it is when we have a large amount of data getting from, RDBMSs. So live is not there in the databases. Remember, live is not there in RDBMS. Live only for the cube or Power BI data sets. Power BI data sets, where you should be able to get the, this one. So we don't get even the table schemas also. We cannot do the data modeling. If you have a table, if you have a table schema, then I can create a link between this and this. I can create a link between this and this. This is what is called doing a modeling, because I have at least the table names and I can create a data modeling, right? So what is the data modeling? Creating relationships, one to one, one to many, many to many. So the data modeling at least we can do, but in the live, we don't get any tables also. We don't get table, we don't get any tables here. So not even the data modeling can be done. So everything is done in the cube level only. Cube will have, cube is going to be getting the data from where? Cube is always getting the data from the data warehousing. Clear? So you will get the data warehousing data. So data warehouse will have raw data. I told you, you have 10 and 20. So what cube is going to be doing? Cube is going to be aggregating only. It is going to be aggregating. So 10 plus 20 equals to 30. The aggregated data is going to be stored, not the original table names and nothing. So you don't have any original tables are going to come here. Clear? So you have a different structure, and the structure is not going to come here. So the data modeling also we're going to be doing it here as well. Okay, only data modeling we are going to be doing in the, sorry, data modeling we are going to be doing in the cube level only. So you have the data, you bring the data, you do the data modeling, you aggregate the data. So no need of doing data modeling, nothing. Simply get the aggregated data, display the data. Clear? So in the direct query, you get the, this is the data source, right? You will be able to get complete data and at least do the data modeling, because we don't get any data in the Power BI service. Okay. So these are the 3 points that you need to understand. What is the import? Import means schedule refresh. Import is also called as a schedule refresh. Clear? So that is what you need to have. So that has to be there. So if you wanted to refresh the data from here to here, you have to have a data gateways, so that you should be able to go and get the data. Clear? So again, database is available in my computer. It is, I'm using direct query. So I would like to refresh the data. So if you want to refresh the data, so definitely I have to go in for what? I have to go in for a data gateways. But especially for the cubes and everything, you don't have, when the live connection is there. So data, this is not at all needed. So as of now, let us, do the demos on this. Clear? Now for let me remove this, and that is what is important. So we always use enterprise gateway. Enterprise gateway is, standard gateway or enterprise gateway. I think we have installed the day one. Installing a gateway can be done in the data source level, and difference between data gateway is very, very important. Only one user. It supports only import and schedule. It supports import as well as direct query. It is also called as a live query. Live is different. Live query is different. Live means it is a completely cube database. Okay, so that is what is called live. Now, I wanted to, data connectivity modes we discussed, right? Import, it is also cached as a, known as a cached, direct query, live. So all these things also we discussed. Now, files will have import, database will have a both, and the cube datasets for Power BI will have connect live or live. Clear? So all these things also done. Now today, what is the mode for Power BI service data set is live. Yesterday I had shown you, you can get one data set from Power BI service and the connection was live. So today, let us, see some more demos on this. So what is import, right? So when we use import and direct query, import and direct query, when we have like this, we should be able to have direct query means the middle one is gone, because middle one can show the data. You cannot see the data, but you can still do the data modeling. But in this live connection, there is no data modeling, because data modeling will be done in the cube level. So get the data from the data warehouse, you create a cube, you do the data modeling there in the cube, then we only give aggregations. So only for the visualizations purpose, we are going to be using Power BI. There is no data modeling. Clear? So that is what is the live connection. When you create it, so uh, tomorrow, or probably after a few days, we are going to be talking about the multi-dimensional cube. In MS BI, we'll speak about it. But in Power BI, we're going to be discussing about a tabular model cube, right? It'll take 1 or 2 days to connect the cube and create a visualization. So we create a data modeling in the cube itself. Okay. So how to get the data to the cube means cube. Why cube means I told you. Cube is your mother, right? I told you cube is your mother. So mother is getting raw vegetables and cooking and keeping it ready. What is advantage? If you wanted to, have the lunch quickly, then when the food is ready, you can have it. If you have so much of a data in the data warehouse, if your mother is not there, what will happen? You need to read the data. Power BI has to do the summing operations and everything. So that means what? You are going to be viewing the report, but before viewing the report, you need to get the data, do the summing, then view the report. So the user who wanted to eat, he has to cook first. He has to cook the food and eat it. So that will be a problem. So if mother is not there, you need to go to get the raw data, raw vegetables, and cook the vegetables, and you should know how to cook it. The second one is that then eat and go. And you need to clean and a lot of other stuff also you should do it. So that is the big problem. So when you have a large amount of data in the data warehousing, better we can hire one more, we can have one more application. That application is called as SSAS application, which is going to be cooking the data. Cooking the data means creating aggregations, all totals it's going to be, preparing and keeping it ready. So when you create a visualization, simply get the data with the cube and only visualize the data. So there is no pain for Power BI to sum up, right? For example, talking about simply a summing operation. Summing operation on the 1 billion data is painful, right? 1 billion data is painful. So not only 1 billion data, you have lot of calculations to be done. For example, what is the sales happened in India for 2015 to 2020? So you have, for this query, you need to crunch, let us say 15 million data. So the next report will say, tell me what is the sales of Apple iPhone and Sony Bravia TV in Europe and Australia and America. So for that, I need to again get the 20 million data and do the aggregations. Now every time, every report will have different totals to be displayed on the different reports. Every time Power BI has to go to data warehousing and get the data and getting data is easy. Then doing the crunching, processing for the Apple iPhone and Australia, filtering the data, removing the data, doing a lot of other stuff is very, very problematic for the Power BI, because Power BI is doing two operations: getting the data, then removing the data, aggregating the data, creating a visualization and show it. So everything you cannot do it. So when the so much of a burden you have, what normally we do? We include one more guy, right? So you do this, I will do this. You do this, I will do this, right? So one guy is going to store the data. That is what is called data warehouse. And one guy is going to show the data. That is what is called Power BI. One more guy is going to show. One more guy is going to be recruited. That guy is called SSAS, is going to be aggregating the data. Clear? So I told you, right? If I come for lunch and if I'm only one person, your mother can, serve me everything. She will give me glass of water, then she will give me a, the proper dinner and everything. She is one person, she's going to, serve everything. But there are thousands of people. Your mother is going to be hiring many people. One guy only serving the water, one guy only serving the liquor, one guy is only serving the soda, one guy is only serving, so you have a lemon and other papads or whatever the snacks and everything, right? Why? So earlier mother can serve everything, but now why, for one food one guy is able to serve, that guy also can serve different item. But when we have more and more data, we are going to be creating a specialized application. You are responsible for serving only coffee, you are responsible serving only tea, you are responsible for serving liquor. Why are we distributing? Because otherwise it will create a big chaos. So when you have so much of a data warehouse, you only store data, you don't do any kind of a processing. Very simple. So then the next one, you only do processing. That is what is the responsibility for SSAS. Then we'll ask Power BI, hey Power BI, you don't do any kind of extra activity, only visualize the data. That's it. So otherwise everybody can do. Mother can do everything. I can also serve the liquor, serve the coffee. I can also do 3 to 4 activities. Data warehouse also can do 3 to 4 activities. It can also store the data. It can also process the data. But why we are not going to be using data warehousing for doing all the works? Then it will be big problem, because storing data and doing other activity. For example, chef is there, chef is preparing a food, and the same chef is serving also food. What will happen? He'll go mad. When you have thousands of people, chef is going to be preparing a food, serving purpose we have a waiter, or we have one more guy who's going to be serving the data, right? So like that, data warehouse is going to be storing the data, and SSAS is going to be aggregating the data, right? So after eating the food in a hotel, for there is a billing counter where you're going to be going and making the payment. So there is one more department. After that, you have a lot of other departments. Housekeeping is going to be cleaning the table. So lot of things. When we have a small set of people, one guy can cook, one guy can clean, one guy can take the bill, one guy will do everything, because we have only 10 people. If there are some thousands of people coming to your restaurant, there is a chef, there is a steward, there is a waiter, there is a billing counter, there is a housekeeping counter. So every counter can do. Chef also can clean. Why? But chef is not going to come and clean because it doesn't have a time. So data warehouse also can process. But data warehouse it's processing, then it will become slow. The other guy. So or Power BI also can process. If the Power BI processing, then definitely it will become slow. You have to have different applications to do the different activities. Am I clear? So one guy is storing the data. His name is called data warehouse. One more guy is called visualizing the data. His name is called reporting. So Excel, Power BI. And one more guy is there who's going to be aggregating the data. His name is called SSAS cubes. Clear? So you should know, one guy is responsible for plumbing, one guy is responsible for constructing the home, one more guy doing the electrical work, one more guy is doing painting work. So the different people are going to be doing different things. Why? Because it is a big project. Otherwise, if it is small project, so one guy can do everything. If it is a multi-skilled guy, he can do everything. Or not 4 people, at least 2 people can do that. So data warehousing processing will be done by data warehousing, or data warehousing will store the data. Processing and visualizing can be done by the Power BI itself. So we don't need one more guy, so called SSAs. It depends upon what kind of a data you have. Clear? All these things you will be learning, you will be, putting into the, companies based on the size of the data that they have. Okay, so that is what. So now scenarios for the data gateways, what we do, we create one Excel. Okay, so let me create one project and we try to refresh it. Okay, let me go create one report now. We have to say, try all the scenarios, right? So let me take this out. And so you can also, if you wanted to transform some data, go to transform data and get the data, clean everything. So I don't want to do any kind of a transformations here. If I don't want to do any transformations, simply go and get data or simply click on this. So Excel workbook, I can use it. So you have to go and get the data. So I have a data available in Power BI. I have some employee data. Let me take this data. Okay, I'm having one employee data. So I'll take department table. So by default, there are two things, load and transform data. When you load, it is going to be loading data directly to the RAM. If you say import data, it is going to be loading data to where? To the Power Query. So Power Query window will get open. It is going to be loading data. Again, you can do all transformations here. I don't want to do any transformation, simply load data. Okay, so you can also go to transform tab, open Power Query and do the transformations there. If you wanted to clean the data, if you assume the data is cleaned, why you wanted to click here, go there, close there and come back here, it is useless, right? So instead of that, we can simply go to get data. Get data means I have cleaned data. I don't want to apply any transformations, completely load the data. I have got it. So you can do the data modeling, you can see the data. So what kind of a, connectivity mode, it is completely live connectivity mode. We are going to be having it here. Now I wanted to create a modeling here, and I can also create what is called as a DAX queries and everything. I don't want to do anything, simply I wanted to have some data to be taken. So take employee ID, and employee ID by default, which is counting, don't summarize it. Okay. Now employee name, okay, employee name and employee salary, and I can get what is the department name he works in, some data like that. Okay. Now I do the formatting, go here, give a bottom and go up style. So some flashy rows and grid. I would like to increase the font. Okay, increase the font to, let us say, 20. So I have done some things and my report is ready. I wanted to have one more visualization, department wise, department name wise, what is the salary. Like that, I wanted to go here and format painter. You can get the border, and in the x-axis, y-axis, if you wanted to increase the font, you should be able to increase the font like this. And you go and data labels also I wanted to get it, and doing some extra work, increasing the font. Okay, 20, everything is fine here. I have some visualizations. Clear? Now I need to save this. I need to save this and go demos. So PBI data gateways, I have something. Let me delete this. Let me delete this also. I wanted to create, it is a Excel. Is what is Excel employee data. So you can give what is the data, EMP data, and today is October 13th. So for the data gateways purpose, we're creating this. So we're storing this first. After storing, what should I do? I have saved it. After saving it, I need to publish. So which user I'm going to be using? The username which I'm going to be using, user 10. So this user is going to be publishing. So what is the workspace? Flipkart. Okay. Now click on select. I'm simply publishing Excel employee data October 13th, 2021. Okay. So where is the file? The file is available here. It is employee file. Okay. So this is the data I'm using, and tomorrow you can modify. If you modify some salaries here, it has to reflect there, right? So I go here. It is successful. Now go to app.powerba.com with which same user, right? So who's the user? I'm using user this guy. This guy is installed. At the time of installing data gateways, I have used this guy user ID only. So I go to app.powerbay.com and log in with the same guy, right? So India is the password, right? So India is the password. So I'm going to be using and try to skip this for 14 days. So don't show this. Now I have 53 days still there. I can use a free connection. So I wanted to go to my data set. How do I go? So you can go to your data set, your workspace. So where you should be able to see your data set. Now, this is what is called visualization. All means it is a visualization and a data set. So when you create a report, it is going to be creating actually two things. One is called data set. The second one is called visualization. So that is, you need to know. Actually, one file only we have it here. The file is, I am storing in the where? In, not here, right? So let me go back. So demos. See, only one file I have. This file is going to be splitting into two ways, right? It's going to be splitting into two ways. Okay. One is called one is visualization. The second one is this. Now let me go to only visualization means it's only data set means this. Both means you need to click on all. So I will go to content, visualize this. So I'm able to get Sai Tejashwani salary 5,000, 6,000. Now it is a 5,000, 6,000, fine, right? Now, so R&D sales, everything is fine. I want to go to Flipkart, go to dataset. When the dataset is refreshed, 710. Now, can I refresh like this? Will it work? Will it work tomorrow? I change the salary, Sai Tejaswani 5,000 to let us say 7,000. Okay, so Adimurti salary. So instead of Sai Tejaswani, I also change, let us say Trump. Okay, I'm changing the name. So instead of Adimurti, I say Kim, right? So I am also changing his salary to 12,000. His salary, let us say $13,000. Clear? I save this file. I close this file, right? So I go, so this is the refresh button. So when I refresh it, can I refresh? It is telling me something here. Okay. It's telling me there was the error data set select the word and blah, blah, blah. So it is not able to refresh. So when you go back here, so when you click on this, are you getting the same data? Even though you go and refresh here, nothing is going to be happening. Nothing is going to be happening. Let me refresh this and just wait. So will we get the same data here? So getting the data is impossible. So you will not be able to get because automatically the data is not going to come here. So why it is? Okay. Simply going there and getting the data is impossible. So you can go to your workspaces, go to Flipkart workspace, then you go to your visualization. You will not be able to get the fresh data. refresh, because we have to install the data gateways. Where is the data gateways? So first you have to go to login as the Power BI, this user. So you need to go to dot dot dot. So this is the place. Okay. So it is a two-step process. So first you need to install. Installation is only one time. Installation gateway we have done. So what is recommended? Enterprise gateway. Okay. Enterprise gateway we have installed it. This step number is done. Then the next one, if you wanted to use the gateway, it is a two-step process. Step number one, you have to go to login as the same user with the same user who has installed it. That is Power BI 10. Go to dot dot dot. So here we have a settings. So here you have to go to settings and manage gateways. You need to go there. Okay. The step number one, this is the gateway we have installed. This is the gateway we have installed. So you have to go to what? Dot dot dot. Then after that, what is there? Click on dot dot dot. What is there? Settings. Then manage gateways. So dot 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 settings. Okay. Then after that, what we have? Manage gateways. Okay. So manage gateways, you need to go. So this gateway, when you go here, this is the gateway I have installed it. Now when you come, you will be able to find a dot dot open menu. There is a dot 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 again. Clear? So the next step, what you need to do in the step number one. So this is what you need to do. So let us say step number A is this. Then next step number B, what you do, you select the data gateway, because many data gateways may be there. So if you install multiple gateways, so you will be finding a lot of gateways. Let me go and again click on dot 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 and add a data source from where you are going to be getting the data. So dot 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 add gateways. So select this and there is a add dot 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 and click on what? Dot 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 and after click on that add data, or you can remove this gateway, add data source and add data source. So this is the one I wanted to add it. So from where I'm getting the data? From Excel, because this report is getting the data from Excel. How do we know? You can simply go here. So data source settings. You simply know from where we're getting the data from. This is the source. Clear? This is the path. If you wanted to know from where you're getting the data, you can simply go to transform. Okay, data. Below that, you have a data source settings. From where you're getting the data means from here, you can click on the change. You can click on the change if you want to change it. This is the complete path. Clear? So you can copy this, you can use this path. So go here. Now I wanted to go and cluster name is this. So I go here dot 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 add data source. When I say add data source, what is the data source now? The data source is Excel, right? Excel, what is that? The employee. So data source type is what? Which is a file. Click on F, you will be able to get file. File, F, file. Full path. I copied the path already, right? So how do you get the path? You have to go here. How do you get the path? From where? So go to here, click on the data source settings. Now click on this, click on change source. Now copy this, select everything, copy. Okay. Now cancel this, close this. Now you go and copy from where you're getting Windows username. Who's going to be responsible for this? This is me. So my computer name is Kedar. You need to give the computer name, laptop name, slash. What slash I'm giving? You need to know, and your name. So however you're, logging into your Windows. If you don't have a user ID, you better create one user ID. Kedar Bhaskar, then Windows password. So to logging into my computer, I'm using one more password. Okay. So Kedar is my computer name. How do you get your computer name? Very simple. You click on this. Okay. you will be able to go to your this PC. Right click on this, go to properties. You will be able to know your computer name. So my computer name is this. I should be able to copy this. Okay. So to get the computer name, if you don't know, so you should be able to easily click on this PC, right click on this, go to properties. Now you should be able to have, the name. This is the name. Okay. Now right click on this, you copy. So always you have to give your user ID and password. Okay. That is Windows. So data source, what we have used. We have written Excel employee. Then the next step is I have chosen the file. The next I have given the complete path, right? The complete path of Excel I have given. Then the next one, credentials, I have given Kedar, which slash. Many people will put this slash and they will call me, sir, it is not working. Okay, slash this slash and your user ID. If you don't have a user ID, you better create one, the password which I'm using. Clear? So what is the user ID? That is also you can create and you can utilize it. So, right, if you don't have, you should be able to create one user ID. So that is needed. Clear? And done. So these are the steps I have done it. And add. When I add, it is going to be checking whether everything is properly there or not. If you do not have a password, you need to set the password. Click on add. So it is giving. So how to set the password? Unable to connect. We encountered an error trying details. We could not register this data source. Any gateways instance within the cluster, please find more details. It is telling me there's a problem. So why is this? Let me go and remove it here. And let me go back. This is installed by this fellow. This is fine. Let me add a data source. Okay. Data source name is Excel source. Okay. Excel source for employee data set, right? So source type is, do we have any Excel like this? We don't have Excel. Okay. We have only file. We have only file. File is fine. So I have to go and get the data source settings. Go here, change source, copy this, Control C. Now Windows user name, Kedar. My computer name is Kedar. Now you can say Bhaskar and the password. You may give wrong password also. Let me add. It is going to be testing that. Unable to connect, we encountered an error while trying to connect details. We could not register this data source for any gateway instance within the cluster. Please, what is this? It is telling me access unauthorized. So there is an access problem which is I'm getting access unauthorized access. I'm not able to have the access. Okay. If I don't have the access for this, what should we do? So sometimes, let me go here. It is saying I don't have access to this, not this, right? Where is the data? PBE data source. I don't have access to this file. So what we can do, let me right click on this folder and give access to specific people. So I'm the owner, right? Why it is not giving? Let me give Bhaskar and add everyone and give the read and write permission. Let me share this. I am giving some permission, nothing else. Okay. It is telling me there is no permission to read this file. That is what is the message I'm getting. But let me discard the changes. Let me go and click on add data source. Now the data source is Excel data source, Excel and employee underscore source. You can give some name, and data source is file because we don't have Excel, we have a file. From which path? This is the path. Windows is Kedar/Bhaskar. Now password. Okay, so my password. Let me click on add. So please find more details. So it is not able to read this path. Credential provided for the file source are invalid. Let me give so credential encrypted using the key. It was working fine. 1 minute to go. Organizational. Still the same thing. So is it because of the case sensitivity? Okay, the so what is this? Let me add Kedar Bhaskar, because when we get the issues, we will be able to get specify at least one email address. Email address it is asking. Let me give Bhaskar Jogi, gmail.com is not going to work. So Windows user 10 is working fine. Why it is giving me? Use the cloud data source to refresh. Let me unselect everything, click on apply. Let me go there and add data source, which was Excel employee source and Kedar uppercase. It was working fine because I have tested it yesterday also, which was fine. But let me. It is telling invalid credentials. Let me keep this elsewhere. Let me go to here and let me move those files here. Let us see. It is saying you don't have any credentials. That's what it says. And let us stop recording. Yeah, guys. So it is working fine. So what we have done, so there is a, okay. So it is now getting recorded. So what we have done as of now, if I remove this, click on apply, it is failing. It is failing. It is not able to connect. It is giving this kind of an error, right? So the simple thing we had as of now given, skip the test connection. Don't test it. Okay. Don't test it. So we had applied this. So that was okay. We had simply put skip test connection. Then we were able to create this. It was successful. Only that change we have done it. So you can also do that. Give your username Kedar Bhaskar here. Kedar Bhaskar and the password. You should not give Kedar Bhaskar in your computer. You have to give your password. If you don't have a password, you can set your password also if you wanted to, put the password. So how to put the password is you go to this PC, right click on this, you go to manage. Okay, you go to manage. Now, if you don't have a user ID, you can create. So go to manage and local users and groups. So if you don't have any user ID, you can also create a one user, a new user. Okay, for example, your name is, let us say, Kiran. So you need to have Kiran. If you don't have any password, you don't have any user ID, you need to create a user ID called Kiran and you give the password India at the rate 12 or any password, whatever you like it, and uncheck this. The password, blah, 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 the confirm password, blah, blah, blah. You say remove this. What is the meaning? User must change password at next logon. You need to uncheck this. You can remove this and you create. The password you know now, right? So that is the password. And the Kiran you have created. So that is one. So now when I go to users, I have a name. My name is here. So I don't have a password. If you wanted to put the password, right click on this. You need to say set password. Proceed. So you need to give the password. If you don't have, name is there, the password is not there. So you need to give the new password, confirm password, click on OK. So this is one. The next one, what you do, you go to groups, go to administrators. You should include Bhaskar, Kiran, everything. So when you go here, we have created a Kiran now. You write Kiran here and click on check names and add the guy here. Clear? So that the Kiran is now administrator. So these are the two steps. So how to come here? If you don't have any user ID and password, go to this PC and manage. Okay, and go to local users and groups, expand it. Now user, if you don't have your user ID, username, right click new user. So give your name and uncheck this, give the user ID and password. Okay. So that is one. Already user ID is there, but if you wanted to give a password, right click on this, use a set password. Proceed. Clear? So after that, you make sure go to groups, go to administrator, your user ID. I am already administrator. You need to add your user ID. For example, your name is now Kiran, you have added. So you need to click on OK. So what will happen? Bhaskar, administrator, Kiran, all these people are now administrators. So administrator means powerful privileges they'll have it. Clear? So that is the one you should be able to do it if you don't have user ID and password. Clear? So that is the one thing we have done it. So it is created now. And from here, we should be able to get the data. Now you go to Flipkart. Now go to data sets. Now still you're not able to refresh because it is a two-step process. One step, we have added the data source. Okay, the second step, this data source you need to add to this guy. That is step number two. Step number two, you have to go to Flipkart, that is your workspace, and go to data sets. Click on dot dot dot. Now again there is a settings. There is a settings here. Click on this. When you go to settings, now there is a data connect gateway connection. Have you seen this? When you go to data connection, you have to use this. You have to simply go and employee Excel. So that you have created, that is going to come here. You have to link and click on apply. Clear? So it is PBA user is the guy and running on this machine. and click on apply. So this you need to map it here. So it is now mapped. Now I want it to go to Flipkart. Now I go to my content. Now it is Sai Tejaswini, right? So this is what I have to again refresh. Okay. I have to again refresh. When I refresh, I'm able to get what Trump and Kim, right? So you can simply go back here. Now you can go to the data sets now. When you go, you can see refresh now. So now you simply go back and change the data. So I go, let me change the data. Instead of a Trump, let me give Biden. The salary was 13,000. Let me make it to 11,000. I'm modifying something. So bonus is also having some bonus. So it is a Kim. Instead of a Kim, let me write Anushka. Okay. Or Anush, his salary is 14,000. You can add some names, save this. I have modified these two entries. Now you save it, you close this. Now you go to here and you have to go to the data sets. Now you have to refresh. Now what is the time? 7:44, right? Now you refresh, click on the refresh button. So it is going to be refreshing. Have you seen this? It is going to be refreshing. See this. It is going to refresh now. What is the time? 7:44. Just wait. It is refreshing. Right. So please wait. Some error, but that is fine. It is able to refresh. Now you have to go to content. Now open this. We are not getting, but refresh here once again. This is the page level refresh. Still, it is not available. We have changed it, right? So where did we change? Did we change the right thing or the wrong thing? Because this is the one we're supposed to change it, right? So Biden and Anush, we have changed it. It is perfectly fine. Let me check and go back. The refresh is happened. The refresh is happened, but it's telling some error. What is that? This warning icon, view details. Gateway is offline. So something is again went wrong. It is not able to refresh anything. Okay. So this, let me test it once again. I don't have time to check it out. What is the issue? But when we get some issues, we will be able to see them. Let me go here. And these are the two-step process, guys. You can do this. You can do this. It should work for you. Okay. You check, test it out. And tomorrow we'll repeat and we will also create some more demos. Okay. I will be working on this. What is the issue? Oh, it is facing. So tomorrow we'll continue further, but you should be able to do it. One is that you install the gateway. Okay, install the gateway and go and add one employee Excel file. This is step number one. Step number two, you need to go to Flipkart and go to your data set. Now click on dot dot dot. Now you go to settings. You should be able to add that gateway. So go to gateway connection. Now the gateway connection is this connection. So it is everything is fine here. So you can just switch it on. Everything is fine here. There's no problem at all. But let me check. I have none of the gateways instances within the cluster is connected. Okay, so you do it. So let us see if this works. Okay, you test it, guys. It should work. Chalo. We'll continue tomorrow. We'll fix these issues. And this is not very complicated as we've seen here. Okay. Yeah, you need to create, your user. Don't create in user number 10. You have 6 and 7 and 8, right? So there you can publish, don't create in user 10 because I'm going to be using that. You don't create in that. You better use it in, install it. You should be able to use user 6, user 7, user 8, user 9. Okay, you can just install the gateway and create one employee data set and report and deploy it and do the step number 1, manage gateways. Step number 2, you add the gateway to this data set and refresh it. Clear? So that is what you should do it. Chalo guys, we'll see in tomorrow's class.